Hey guys, how's it going? It's Blepnir here with another team review, this time featuring Shadow Grottle, Unovan Stunfisk, and Shadow MANECTRIC. Now, this team was super fun to use, tons and tons of fast move pressure with this team. You got a high fast move pressure move in Razor Leaf in the front, you've got a high fast move pressure move in Thunderfang in the back, and then you've got the Unovan Stunfisk as the safe swap to bait out stuff that is strong against electric and hopefully outbulk them. So let's see how this team does. We've got our Shadow Grotto into Blastoise. This is a great lead. I saw a lot of water leads today. They switch into Dragalge, and I'm very slow on the swap because this was my first game using this team, and I still wasn't entirely sure how it would work. You see here that I have Mudshot on my Unovan Stunfisk. I am going to be able to land this mud Bomb here. Because I have Mudshot instead of Discharge, I should be able to farm down from here. I might have to shield again, but I think that I should be able to farm down. Let's see. They get in 1 Dragon Tail, 2 Dragon Tails, 3 Dragon Tails. Unfortunately, I do have to shield. So now I am 2 shields down. This is kind of a scary situation. However, I have 100 energy. I win the switch, which is good because I keep alignment. And I'm just going to start raining down these super effective discharges. Discharge number 1 does about 45% of their health. Discharge number 2 is also going to do about 45% of their health. It's not going to quite take them out, but it's going to put them very low. And so now I actually come into my Shadow Manectric to snipe them. And the reason why is because I wanted to get just a little bit of an energy advantage to reach that Psychic Fangs all the sooner. But lo and behold, they have a Zapdos in the back. So very spicy, unique team by my opponent here. I definitely have not seen any other teams quite like that. But well played to my opponent. The Shadow Zapdos, unfortunately, just a little bit too squishy to take out the Manectric. So here we have a very common lead that I actually didn't have that much trouble with because of the fact that Shadow Razor Leafs just do so much damage. I can farm this down if I double shield, but you're going to see here I do something very stupid. I throw my Body Slam, and of course the Frostlass wins CMP, so there was no reason for me to throw that Body Slam. Hopefully I learned my lesson, and next time don't throw it. But this puts me in a kind of bad spot because I just wasted a bunch of energy there. They come in with a Poliwrath, so this isn't over yet. They actually catch a move onto their Whiscash, so great catch by them. They catch this Discharge onto the Whiscash, which causes me to waste a lot of energy. I don't do nearly as much damage as I would with the cheaper Mud Bomb, so I'm just going to start raining down these Mud Bombs. And I'm not in a fantastic spot, right? I'm 2 shields down. I have 2 very glassy Pokemon in the back, in the Shadow Grotto and the Shadow Manectric. And the Shadow Grotto is almost dead. So they are likely going to get to a Mud Bomb here on the Shadow Grotto. They are going to farm up to almost 2 Mud Bombs. I don't think they're quite at 2 yet. So they throw the first Mud Bomb, take me out. They are going to reach a Mud Bomb right there. I almost was able to Razor Leaf them down. But this Mud Bomb is not going to kill. And now I come in immediately into the Shadow Manectric, and I catch the Ice Punch, which is really good because this, if they had gotten to a big move, the Shadow Manectric would have been basically taken out. So they are forced to throw another move here, thankfully, because they can't just farm me down. And then I can just come into the Shadow Grotto, and 1 Razor Leaf is enough to do it. Look at how much those Razor Leafs do, ladies and gentlemen. Razor Leaf is probably one of the best high pressure fast moves in the game now that Charm is nerfed. It does even more damage than Charm now. And so they come into Cofagrigus from their Primeape. Surprisingly, because Primeape usually carries Ice Punch here. Maybe this one doesn't have Ice Punch, but whatever it is, they're trying to lure something out with this Cofagrigus. Whatever it is, we don't have it. So we come in with the Unovan Stunfisk, and the Unovan Stunfisk should do okay here. All of those Razor Leafs basically did even more than a charge move from a Unovan Stunfisk could do. So we do have to tank this move, but then we get to farm all the way down. And we have a ton of energy here. They do not make it to a move, which is really good. They come back in with their Frostlass, or they come in with their Frostlass. They led with the Primeape, right? So this is not a fantastic situation because they're going to be able to farm me all the way down. I'm still switch locked in here, and nothing on this team wants to take any of Frostlass's moves, right? So I'm going to have to expend my shield somewhere. I guess it's going to be on the Shadow Manectric, right? Yeah, I shield. And they Shadow Ball, so really good that they Shadow Ball there. The Primeape is not going to enjoy this Psychic Fangs. They have to shield up the Psychic Fangs. And then this is actually a CMP tie. So the super glassy Shadow Manectric actually winning CMP over the Primeape here. The Night Slash easily takes me out. And then I can just Razor Leaf them down. Once again, Razor Leaf showing how deadly it can be, especially with a debuffing charge move like Psychic Fangs. This team just bulldozes through opponents. Completely unstoppable with those debuffs. So next up, we have our Shadow Grottle into Empoleon. This is a great lead, and in fact, my entire team has pretty good play against Empoleon. but none of my team members wants to take a charge move, right? This Drill Peck would almost take out my Shadow Grottle from here. The Shadow Manectric would be easily one-shot by a Hydro Cannon. And obviously the Unovan Stunfisk would be almost taken out by a Hydro Cannon. Luckily, they allow me to farm them down there. And then I come into my safe swap, Unovan Stunfisk, against their Mandibuzz, and they come in with a Frostlass. So good to see the Frostlass here. Good to keep the Shadow Manectric for the Air Slash Mandibuzz. It would have been a much trickier situation if it was a Snarl Mandibuzz, but we are looking to be in a pretty good spot here because of the fact that we can just start raining down these Mud Bombs. They have no choice but to start shielding. And I should be able to actually Razor Leaf this thing down. Once again, Razor Leaf showing just how good a move it can be. Razor Leaf down right before they breach the charge move. And now it's time to start Psychic Fangs debuffing this thing. Since this is their last Pokemon, they cannot switch out. They are most likely going to shield the Psychic Fangs. But regardless, it's gonna really make these fast moves start adding up. Now that they're a stage debuff, they're pretty much going to they're definitely in Body Slam range, right? And I actually have 2 Body Slams, if you see there. So farming down that Frostlass really guaranteed us the win here, even though this was definitely the opponent's team was definitely a team that did not want to see the double electric backline there. So next up, we have a battle against Protein Shake. We've got our Shadow Grottle into Frostlass. So this is our second matchup with the Frostlass. Let's see if we can prove ourselves a wiser man after our experience CMP tying last time. Let's see how we want to play this. We can 2-shield and farm down here once again. But hopefully I don't press my charge move. I do. That's how short my memory span is, folks. I already forgot that you absolutely do not want to throw your charge move here. But we were able to recover from our mistake last time. Let's see what happens this time. We take him out. We go right into our safe swap. And they have a Pelipper. So this is actually looking quite good for us. I expect us to get these shields right back. Because obviously the discharge would one-shot the Pelipper. 2 Weather Balls are not quite enough to take us out. So this is where Thunder Shock would have been a nice fast move instead of Mud Shot. But even with Mud Shots, we can still one-shot this Pelipper with discharges. So it's not a big deal. I was kind of hoping that they would throw their Weather Ball there to take me out. Just because now they have so much energy that my Shadow Manectric is not going to have a good time. They don't throw their charge move. So thankfully, Shadow Manectric could survive 1 Weather Ball just barely. But it's really good that I didn't have to. They clearly were underestimating how powerful this Shadow Manectric is. Those double super effective Thunder Fangs absolutely chunked them. So next up, we have our Shadow Grottle into a Machamp. This is kind of a scary matchup for me, just because they outpaced me to the charge moves. But then they come in with a Noctowl, and we go right into our Shadow Manectric. There's no reason to think that they're baiting here. They're probably just going to go for the big move, and they do. We can just farm them all the way down now and come out with 1.5 Psychic Fangs. And the Machamp are not going to be enjoying these Psychic Fangs. So even though we are in a shield deficit right now, we can just start getting these shields back, right? This Psychic Fangs would basically take out the Machamp, and this next one is also going to go through. So the Machamp is going to farm me down after this. They're going to have a lot of energy, but they're going to have barely any health left after all of these Thunder Fangs. 2 Razor Leafs would be enough to take him out. They do throw the first charge move here. It's going to really hurt. They throw the cross chop. They're not quite at another cross chop, and we simultaneously switch. We switch into our Unova Stunfisk. They switch into their Frostlass, and this game is actually looking okay now because I still have a shield. They have no shields, and I can start raining down these discharges. This discharge is not going to quite take them out, but it's going to put them into Razor Leaf downrange. And thankfully, they actually throw their move here. So we're going to let them take us out gladly because we know that we can Razor Leaf this thing down. We can just use our shield here and take down the Machamp with one more Razor Leaf. The Machamp is just barely alive there, and one counter does not take us out. So that is a good game. Next up, we have Shadow Grottle into Magcargo. That is not a good lead. Luckily, we have a good response in the back with the Unova Stunfisk. We have a neutral response with the Manectric, so that's why we come into the Shadow Manectric here. And they come in with a Politoed? This Politoed is not going to enjoy the Thunderfang spam. Unfortunately, we do have to CMP tie them here and throw this Psychic Fangs. A Weather Ball from a Politoed would be more than enough to take out a Shadow Manectric from this health range. So we do have to shield it. Thankfully, they did shield our move. So now we are still at a shield deficit, but we have a lot of energy here, and we win alignment, which is really the most important thing because we need to have that Magcargo onto our Unova Stunfisk, right? And they actually come in with their own Unova Stunfisk. So they are not going to be enjoying this overheat, but I imagine they let this go. They do let it go. That does a lot of damage. They let it go because they know that the Unova Stunfisk has no play versus the Shadow Grottle in the back. So they come into their Magcargo here, recognizing that their Unova Stunfisk was basically toast at that point. And we go into our own Unova Stunfisk. You see there, their overheat actually did not even do as much as our own non-stab overheat. Ours is non-same type ability bonus, but our attack stat is just so high that we were able to do far more damage to their Unova Stunfisk than they were able to do to us. So next up, we have Grottle into Frostlass. All right, folks. We messed up the first time. We messed up the second time. Let's see if we can play this matchup right this time. So they throw their Avalanche. And now we are actually going to swap. And the reason why I swapped here was because I can outpace them to discharges, and they were just about almost in discharge range, so that's why I decided to swap. They were swapping to their safe swap in the Pelipper, and this is actually looking pretty good for us, just because if they have a Pelipper as a safe swap, that means they most likely have either a flying type or a water type in the back, right? No other reason to just randomly swap into a flying water type, unless that was the case. And then we get both their shields. So we went from a shield deficit to actually being at a shield advantage here. You're going to see here, actually, this time, unfortunately, they do make it to their charge move. And this Weather Ball would almost take out the Shadow Manectric. We have to shield it. And then they have a Regirock in the back. So this is very scary for us. And we don't make it to our overheat. Definitely should have at least gone for the Psychic Fangs. But we get taken out by the Stone Edge. And then they actually swap. So I'm not sure why they swapped here. Perhaps they thought that they would get to a move. But them swapping there definitely gave me the win, right? Because it gave me so much energy. Otherwise, they might have beaten me to the Stone Edge if they hadn't swapped out there. So finally, learning how to play out the Frost last lead there in that last game. Folks, this team was a ton of fun. So if you guys have a Shadow MANECTRIC that you've wanted to build, that you've wanted to use, if you guys try out this team, if you guys have any other team suggestions for me, please let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.